Dhammapada 113, Patachara's story. So a brief disclaimer, there will be some quiet, inspiring music, and the intention is not to be an entertainment show, as in the seventh precept. It's to reflect the essential message of this story. So be inspired. The music itself is not important, but the intention is, and that is what my primary teacher taught me on this subject. Floods of grief. So let's calm. Let's have a meditation on light and flow. We are already at the cutting edge of that which is always already. So let's remind ourselves of just what one Singaporean person can achieve when they search inside themselves. You've got to search for that hero inside yourself. Chade Meng Tang. Through Google, he rose to great heights, meeting the President, meeting the Dalai Lama, and leaving a legacy of his Search Inside Yourself program.
Search Inside Yourself is Google's mindfulness-based emotional intelligence program. It's our singular or most popular course and oversubscribed and most highly rated course within Google. A little while ago we decided to outsource that to the world and create a nonprofit institute called Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute. And what we do is we outsource the programs, tools, and content around the Search Inside Yourself curricula for other organizations and individuals to utilize as needed. We look at sort of the neural base of behavior change and all of the domains of emotional intelligence as enabled by mindfulness practices. And so essentially we're teaching mindfulness practices. It's all evidence-based, rooted in science, to enable emotional intelligence and the different domains within that. We spend so much of our time trying to understand with our knowing mind. And we don't do enough to really understand sort of the intuitive self or the other aspects of our mental functioning that are more about being and less about doing. When we're able to bring those online, we have sort of greater access to insights, innovations, calmness, clarity, etc., which leads to self-knowledge, self-mastery, and all those good things that come out of emotional intelligence. Those to us are fundamental skills, not just for performance and leadership, but for really shaping culture. It's all around the notion that, emotional intelligence, emotional competency is a skill, and skills are trainable.
Dhammapada 113. We have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have only to follow the thread of the hero's path, and where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a divine life, and where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay our own selfish egoism. Where we had thought to travel outward, we shall come to the centre of our own existence, and where we had thought to be alone, we shall be with all the world. The great Joseph Campbell. So let's take that journey into the temple. So let us, as Buddhists, roar the lion's roar. And then, though in thunderous tones, as of a young lion roaring in the Red Valley, or as of a storm cloud in the rainy season, bringing down, as it were, the Ganges of the heavens, and seeming to weave a chaplet of jewels, yet in a voice of eightfold perfection, he preached to them the Dhamma, the truth, in a discourse full of sweetness and bright with varied beauty, the charm of which ravished the ear, setting free the moon from the clouds, and then making clear what had been concealed by rebirth. The truth is, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with it. We must be willing to get rid of the life that we've planned so as to have the life that's waiting for us. And things do not always go according to plan. And that can be a catalyst for transformation. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. The Chinese characters for the word crisis, I'm told, made up of two characters, and the first one meaning danger or risk. The second one means opportunity. So if you think you're having a crisis, maybe what you're really having is a great opportunity for transformation. So greetings everyone. I'm Bhante and Rakkhita, Samanera, originally from the UK. The Buddhist teachings are said to be like the light of Asia. Let's follow these stepping stones across the sea of samsara to the safety of the other shore via the Dhammapada. The Dhammapada. Before we do that, let's pay homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I learnt a lot from watching the Buddha's ways of oratory. So firstly, we should go to a magical, extraordinary kingdom. But first, we will need to transport ourselves there. So using 2 breaths, in and out, and also we're going to need a transporter. Otherwise we won't get off the ground. So breathing in and breathing out. Second breath. Om 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 om. It worked. We are now fully transported. Get ready. We're going to have to do a bit of flying as well. And we might not get through that hole. That's actually a guy in a flying suit. You've heard of arahants flying. Well, there he is. Batman. Which makes us arrive at the high mystical temple in the mountain, where we will go past ancient eons of Buddha's teachings, deep, deep down, to find the Tripitaka library. Past the dragons representing Hiri and Ottappa, past the Chedi, past the ordination procedure, past great masters like Mahasi Sayadaw, like Sayadaw Upandita, Sayadaw Utuzana, the Venerable Ajahn Tong, my first preceptor, Lungpo Banyat. I served for 3 years. past Sayadaw Otamasara, who taught me so much about socially engaged Buddhism, Sayadaw Usananda, who's Mahasi's physician in the Mahasi Center there, past Venerable Dhammaratana, one of the chief monks of Malaysia, Bhante Punyaji, Bhante Saranankara, and the great Master Cheng Yen, who I met recently. So on and on and on, without stopping, down into the Tripitaka library, past great tombs of so much information and knowledge, which isn't wisdom, deep, deep down, to look for one little verse to inspire us. Out of all of that, where do we begin? So let's get down in the Tripitaka corner, find ourselves a cozy spot to read. Past the librarian. And we find the Dhammapada. It would have looked like this, scratched onto palm leaves. They're in Lanatai and Burmese. From the promotion and propagation of the Sasana, Yangon, Myanmar. Lots of different versions. They don't always have the stories. This is a map I made. The whole kind of lot of it there. The Tripitaka. There's the Kudika Nikaya. And here's the Dhammapada. So the whole map of the Tripitaka, it's like the subway. You've got to learn the map, and it takes a little bit of time, but get used to it. And Tripitaka, Sutta Pitaka, 5 collections, long ones, mediums, collected ones, number ones, and this one is full of all the fun. This has all the stories in it. In there, you've got 15 books. Second one is called the Dhammapada. Yeah. Pada means verses, it also means footsteps. There's 26 chapters. We're going to go into the 8th chapter, called the Thousands, because our one is number 113. So this is from the Thousands. It's so called as it starts, better than 1,000 useless words is one useful word, hearing which one attains peace. Better than 1,000 useless verses is one useful verse, hearing which one attains peace. It's chapter 8, verse 113. It's the story of Patachara. It's often easily confused with the story of Kisagotami, the handful of mustard seeds, but they are quite different stories though. But they both became fully enlightened people. So let's unlock this ancient treasure.